Hello students, this is the third video of this chapter, the best Christmas present in the world. In the last video, means the second video, we saw what was written in the letter. It was a letter from Captain Jim Ferguson. He wrote it to his wife and he explained or he described a wonderful incident that happened with him. The soldiers, German soldiers came towards them. They celebrated Christmas together. They had lots of fun. So this was all we discussed in video 2. Now this is the third video and the last video for this chapter. So let us see, after reading the letter, what did narrator do with that particular letter? Because letter did not belong to him. It was someone someone else's letter. He got it by chance because he purchased that table. So let us see now what narrator did with that letter. Okay. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. So after reading the letter, narrator kept the letter back into its envelope. I kept awake all night. By morning, I knew what I had to do. So after reading the letter, he folded it, kept it back into its envelope, and then the whole night passed like that. He did not sleep. Uh, he was just thinking about that incident because we have seen in the second video how wonderful that incident was, and that was really something which Mark Jim Ferguson had never imagined. And even if I or you would have been in his place, we would also have never imagined that such things may happen or such things can happen. So this narrator, when he read that incident, he was also thinking about that particular incident. By morning, I knew what I had to do. So by morning, when he was just waiting for the new morning to come, new day to arrive, I drove into Bridport, just a few miles away. So we had seen in our first video that on that letter envelope, on the envelope of the letter in which the letter was kept, address was also mentioned. So this narrator, he drove into that particular address. It was in Bridport and he was going there. I asked a boy walking his dog where Copper Beaches was. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a burned out shell, the roof gaping, the windows boarded up. So when he reached to that particular address, he found that that house was completely burnt and the windows were here and there. There was nothing into the place. You could figure it out by seeing only this house was on fire some days before or some years before, and the person who must be living in this house would have been living or may not be because the house was completely destroyed by fire. I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone knew the whereabouts of a Mrs. Macpherson. So he asked because that house there was nothing. He found no one in the house where he was supposed to go, house number 12. So he went to house number 13 and he asked. He knocked at the door and he asked the whereabouts of Mrs. Macpherson, whether they are knowing that where is Macpherson now, is she alive or she dead or what is happening to her, where is she now living. He asked them. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. So the one who opened the house, he was wearing slippers. He was an old man himself and he knew her well. A lovely old lady, he told me, a bit muddle headed, but at her age she was entitled to be, wasn't she? So he told that she's an old lady, very fun loving and lovely, and she is a bit muddle headed. What is the meaning of muddle headed? Muddle headed means confused. So that old man who was staying next to the house of Mrs. Macpherson, he described this lady, Mrs. Macpherson, as a lovely old lady, but little confused. And he told that, and at her age, and at her old age, she is supposed to be confused. It is not something wrong on her part because this is a particular age for her to be confused, but she is very nice lady with a very lovely heart. 101 years old, so Mrs. Macpherson was now 101 years old. She had been in the house when it caught fire. So when that house number 12 where she used to live, and when that house caught fire, she was inside the house only. No one really knew how the fire had started, but it could well have been candles. So because she was inside the house and suddenly the house caught fire, people in her neighbor they couldn't know the exact reason how house has caught fire, but they suppose they guessed that it must be the candles due to which house had caught fire. She used candles rather than electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. So this was one habit of Mrs. Macpherson. She instead of using electricity bulb or something which can lit through electricity, she used to use candles because she found electricity to be very expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. She was in a nursing home now, he told me. Burlington House on the Dockster Road on the other side of the town. So he gave the narrator, he gave address of this old lady, where is she living now, in which the address was Burlington House on the Dockster Road on the other side of the town. So what all things he told about the lady? First thing we got to know, Mrs. Jackperson was 101 years old that time. She was a little confused lady. She was 101 years old, confused lady, but having a lovely heart. She used to use candles instead of electricity because she found electricity very expensive. And at present, she was staying in Burlington House on the other side of the town. Let's see what narrator does or did after he got the address, current address of Mrs. Jackperson. Okay, so narrator moved towards Burlington House. I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. There were paper chains up in the hallway, and a lighted Christmas tree stood in the corner with a lopsided angel, uh, angel on top. So it was a Christmas Eve, so that nursing home was also decorated. There were paper chains up in the wall. There was Christmas tree. Christmas tree was well decorated. It was lit. Uh, and I said I was a friend come to visit Mrs. Macpherson to bring her a Christmas present. As nobody will allow me, would have allowed me if I would have told something else and the real story. So narrator told that he is a friend of Mrs. Macpherson and he came to visit her and he wanted to give a present to her on the Christmas Eve. I could see through into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing. So while he was waiting for Mrs. Macpherson to come and see him, he was just having a look of the nursing home. He found that people in the dining room were enjoying the Christmas, celebrating the Christmas Eve. They were singing, they were dancing, and they were also wearing paper hat. The matron had a hat on too and seemed happy enough to see me. Who is matron? The one who takes care of the nursing home. You can say head of the nursing home. She was also wearing a hat and she was very happy when she saw me because nobody used to come to meet Mrs. Macpherson. Okay. She even offered me a mince pie. She walked me along the corridor. Mrs. Macpherson is not in with the others, she told me. So she took me through a corridor to a room because Mrs. Macpherson was not in that group. I saw, a narrator saw a group of people in the dining room. They were enjoying and celebrating Christmas, but Mrs. Macpherson was not in that group. She was not celebrating Christmas that day. She is rather confused today, so we thought it best if she had a good rest. She was, we already know about her that she is a little confused lady. This matron, she thought of not letting her be the part of celebration because she was behaving a little confused. Uh, so she advised Mrs. Macpherson to have some rest instead of coming and joining the celebration. She has no family, no one visits. So I'm sure she will be only too pleased to see you as no one visits her and she has no family left. So when she will see you, she will be really, really happy. She took me into a conservatory with wicker chairs and potted plants all around and left me. So Mrs. Macpherson was in a conservatory and there were so many plants all around. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, so you can see in a picture also. Her hands folded in her lap. She had silver white hair pinned into a wispy bun. So you can see her hair. She's having silver hair because she's old. Obviously, her hair became white in color, and she was pinned her hair using a. She had pinned her hair into a bun. You can see there here in the picture. This is the bun. You can see it. Okay. She was gazing out at the garden. Means she was staring and looking at the garden. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly because we know that she did not know the narrator, and when she heard hello, and even she never imagined or she never expected that somebody will come and visit her. When narrator said hello to her, she looked at him vacantly. Who is he? Like that. Okay. Happy Christmas, Connie, I went on. I found this. I think it's yours. As I was speaking, her eyes never left my face. So when I was speaking, means when the narrator was talking to Mrs. Macpherson, her name was Connie. So she was just looking at his face and just trying to figure out who is he? Did I ever meet him, or do I know him? Like that, she was giving expression. That was the moment her eyes lit up with recognition and her face became suffused with a sudden glow of happiness. So when she saw that letter, she became suffused. Suffused means her happiness could be seen on her face. She started glowing, and I explained about the desk, about how I had found it, but I don't think she was listening. So when I gave her the letter, after that, whatever I was talking, she was not listening me because she was lost into that letter. For a while she said nothing, but stroked the letter tenderly with her fingertips. Tenderly means softly. So she took the letter. She stroked it. Stroked it means just softly. Okay, so just she folded the letter in her hand. She crumbled it softly with her fingertips. Okay, then what happened? Suddenly she reached out and took my hand. And suddenly when I was about to leave, she just hold my she just held my hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. You told me you would come home by Christmas, dearest, she said. And she thought that narrator is her husband, is Mr. Macpherson, and she just started talking to him, and she's just thinking that he is his husband, and he's telling, her eyes were filled with tears, and she's telling, yeah, you told me that you will surely come back home by Christmas, because in that letter we had seen in the second video that he wrote that next year when we will meet, we'll discuss and we'll talk about it more, and this war will really leave a terrible memory for us. So this Macpherson died in that war, and he never came back, and that was the reason Mrs. Macpherson became confused and she was into her own world. She said, and here you are. So after that time he came, she never met him, and she's thinking, she's believing that he is his Mr. Macpherson. The best Christmas present in the world. Come closer, Jim, dear, sit down. And today you came, and this is the best Christmas of my life. You came back after so many years. I was waiting for you since long, and you never came back. And but I knew that you had promised to me that you will come back, and you are here today. I sat down beside her and she kissed my cheek. I read your letter so often, Jim, every day. When you sent me that letter, I used to read it every day. I wanted to hear your voice in my head. It always made me feel you were with me. So I used to imagine that you are reading that letter to me, and I used to feel your voice. And that used to be the best moment for me throughout the day when I used to read that letter of yours. And now you are back. You can read it to me yourself. Would you do that for me, Jim, dear? So she wanted to hear that letter in the voice of Jim, but Jim never came back. She was waiting for him, and today she believed the narrator as Jim, and she wanted him to read that letter for her. I just want to hear your voice again. I would love that so much. And then perhaps we will have some tea. I have made you a nice Christmas cake. We have read in the second video that she used to make very tasty cake, and even her husband, Mr. Macpherson, used to like that cake too much. marzipan. The name of cake was marzipan all around. I know how much you love marzipan. So just see, this chapter is giving us two types of feeling. And when we go to the second part of the chapter, we get a feeling of, we get a very great feeling. We become very happy after reading the chapter or that particular part. But when we come to the end, we get to we can feel the pain of all those women or all those wives, all those children, all those parents who lose their son in the war, and their son goes to for a fight on the border or for on the behalf of the country, and they never come back. So we should always give respect to the soldiers and their family whenever we happen to meet them. So this was all story of the best Christmas present in the world. So the best Christmas present was the letter which was written by Mr. Macpherson to his beloved wife, Mrs. Macpherson, and it became the gift when it was handed to her by narrator after so many years. Fine. Okay, so the chapter is over now. Hope you understood the chapter. Thank you.